I'd like to introduce Mark McKinlay. I'd like to introduce Guillaume Teasdale from the University of Windsor History Department. And I would like to introduce our mayor. Hello, Mayor. Tom, how you doing?
Very good.
And we have a new photographer tonight. It's our deputy mayor, Deputy Mayor Bailey. And Councillor John Kerr is with us, and my cousin, Councillor Kirk Wallstead, is with us. My cousin, yes, yes. Guillaume?
Yes. Okay. So, as you know, I'm from the History Department at the University of Windsor. I came to Windsor in 2012, and shortly after that, the department started to. It was not my initiative, but I quickly joined that project. We decided to better connect with the community. We realized that a lot of people outside of campus basically do a lot of work to promote local history. Different, like some heritage about their ancestors or local history in Essex County and beyond, like on both sides of the border. And we wanted to basically acknowledge that in a more obvious way and develop connections with the community. So one of my colleagues came up with the idea of giving medals every year. So I think now it's been about 5 years that we do that. I have to say it's the first time ever that we have actually elected people that attend the ceremony. So I'm very happy that the mayor, councilors, and people from the town of Lakeshore are here. I don't think it ever happened before. We in the past we gave medals different locations in Essex County, also in Michigan, and it's the first time. So I think it's really cool. Very happy about that.
So do we.
So this is the letter that we wrote, that was quite a few weeks ago, to inform Mark McKinlay that on behalf of the Department of History at the University of Windsor, it is my pleasure to inform you that you have been awarded the 2019 Community Heritage Medal. This medal recognizes outstanding achievement in raising the profile of local history and heritage in Windsor and or surrounding Essex, Lenton, or Kent counties, as well as in the Southeast Michigan. Your efforts to make the history of Comber known to the public are simply extraordinary. And I was just looking at the Facebook page today of the Comber Historical Museum. Wow, it's quite dynamic. Thank you for your important work, and I'm very happy to be here today. I have the medal in this envelope here. I guess I can. Here's the letter, and here's the medal. So it's not a medal that you can wear around your neck. It's more a medal that you put on the desk. But here it is. Department of History, University of Windsor.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you for all your work. And hopefully it's just the beginning of more collaborations, connections between our department and people in this area here in Comber and also the town of Lakeshore. So
Thank you very much. I really very much appreciate it.
yeah, and I should start bringing students more to the Comber Museum.
Oh,
That's good to hear.
yes.
I have I never really prepared anything, but I do have a few things I would like to say. I'd first like to thank Ben from the Iron Kettle, Ben and Jeanette, for their. This is an incredible venue, and Ben hosting this event is just amazing. Thank you so much, Ben, for all you do for our community. Ben and I have worked throughout the last 5 or 6 years together, doing different things together, and he's been a joy to work with and a pleasure. He's really put our community on the map.
Yes.
And I want to thank him for that, and thanks. I'd also like to thank you and the University of Windsor for the work that they do too. And this recognition and the honor that this has brought to me, and the honor that it will bring to other individuals that help promoting history. I also want to thank Ralph and Joan Mello. They were the president of the Comber Museum prior to me, and I'm very pleased that they thought that I was good enough to take over the museum after they retired, and for their I just can't begin to thank them too, because without the museum, I never would have realized the importance of the history in our area, you know, and it was that key that made me think more of how this began, how our community began, and the importance of it, and the sacrifices that the people made in this community for us, for what we have today. It's so important, you know, and so many people take it for granted, and I just wanted to thank them too. I'd like to also thank my family, my wife and my children who support me through this. And I'd also like to thank the people that are here in this room. Our community, the people have been so supportive of the museum and the work that I do, purchasing their memberships year after year after year. The community itself, the businesses in our community, who, when I go see them every year for prizes for our annual celebration every year, fundraising dinner that I do every year, they always seem to come forward, and they're so grateful to see me every year, and I don't understand why, but they are. And, it's really been a pleasure for me, and really I don't consider this as being work at all. I enjoy what I do. I'm still doing it, like it's part of history, but it's part of today too. Today I posted all the schedule for the Comber Fair, you know, and I posted it, and it was been shared over 15, 20 times on Facebook. So the things that happen today is the history of tomorrow for our children. So what we do today needs to be recorded too, and I'm doing that too as well. So we're bringing it all together, and I just want to thank everybody for coming here and sharing this moment with me. I really appreciate it.
Okay,
Did I
Mr.
miss
Mayor?
anything?
The mayor's gonna say something.
I just want to quickly say thank you, Mark, for your contribution. You talked about Ben and his bringing recognition here. Well, that's exactly what you've done. You brought a lot of recognition to the Comber area, to the museum, to all of Lakeshore for your work. There's no one, I don't think, any more devoted in that area than you right now, and I see the hours you put into it and the work and getting the word out to everyone and the benefits that you're reaping. So continue the great work.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Beth?
Mark, I think you should tell them about you being the city boy, right?
Yes.
And what course you led for Elder College. This was quite an honor, and he had to really research and pull it right off.
I did. I grew up in Toronto, and I've been in Comber for almost 45 years. And I say that I was born and raised in Toronto, but I think of Comber as my home. Comber will always be my home. No matter where I go, Comber's going to be my home. A few years ago, I was approached by the University of Windsor, the Elder College, and they asked me if I would do a class on behalf of the Elder College, and I said, well, I guess I could try. I said I've never done anything like this before, so I cleaned up the museum, and we pulled out the fire truck, and we set up chairs there, and I set up a screen, had my computer going, and I printed books for each one of the students that were coming. You know, this was my first course, and the course was on the history of agriculture in Essex County. And the first thing I said to these people was, well, I'm from Toronto, I'm born in Toronto. I don't know much about farming. But I'm gonna teach you about farming in Essex County. And you know, the people that attend these classes, they're pretty sharp on their history. Like, they know their history, and they love history. And it's such a pleasure to do these classes. And I work myself up into a dither before I do it. But then once I get started, I can't shut up. So it's really kind of fun. And they put me through my paces, and they test me. And one of the times there was a gentleman sitting back, and he was sitting beside Linda at the very back of the room, because she was going to tell me when it was time. And he said to her, watch this. And he was asking me a question about the type of flour that was produced in Comber, and if I knew the name of it. He knew the name, and he wanted to test me to see. And I had just finished putting up a display in the Toldo library, and I remember putting a brick in the middle of a luxury bag of flour. And so I had that right on the tip of my tongue, and I said, well, of course, that's the luxury flour from the luxury mill in Comber. So he said, you really need that.
And he goes, he's right.
So I passed the test there, but it's great to have that venue at the museum because they love history. So after the class is over, they all stay and they enjoy going through the museum and looking at all the artifacts that we have there. And
What about the public school kids?
and they have a ball too. The public school kids, it's a joy to have them come out. The grade 2s and grade 3s, they all have their own little cell phones, and they come off the bus and they've got their cell phones, and they're running through the museum, and they're up on all the equipment, and they're taking pictures of each other, and they bring their lunch, and we have a beautiful little pavilion in the back for them to have their lunch, and then some of the ladies come over from the church, and they play games with the kids. Games from the 20s and 30s, and they have sack races, and they have spoons with eggs on them, and they're running, and the kids have a ball, you know, they just have a ball.
In the museum, you pay for the busing for them to come? Yes.
The school board no longer has anything that they have no money in that, so we look after sending a bus out to them and picking them up and bringing them out. And we usually have somebody come forward with a donation for the cost of that, so. It's really a pleasure. It really is a pleasure. So it's really, like I said, it's really something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy watching the kids. I enjoy watching the adults, you know. And when I go into the library at the Tolden Museum to see the Convert Museum sign there and the artifacts that we have on display, it really is a joy to be part of that. So I just want to thank everybody here, and we're going to sell memberships for everybody on the way out.
I gotta tell you, there's a box at the museum to put your comments in, right? So one day after all the kids were there, Mark was going through the comments, and they're so cool. And it's true, they're using their cell phones to show their parents what they're seeing. And he gets to this comment, and he breaks out laughing, and I says, what? And this kid says, you people were so smart back then. So it's all worth it.
Once again, I want to thank everybody for coming on today to make this day so special. I can't believe it. It's just, you know, Ben, thank you so much again, you know, for all your hospitality here and your effort. And thank everybody for coming out. I really appreciate it. So.
Perfect.